Welcome back, it's Nine, and today I have another big video for you guys. We are covering three major articles. One talking about how Microsoft is asking their Xbox owners if they would like PS5 DualSense type features. We'll be talking about Sony winning the most Game of the Year awards in the last 3 years back to back. And lastly, we're going to be covering some comments made by the Cyberpunk 2077 dev team in regards to the rumors that were made in a previous video. Now, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's get right into it, starting with this article that comes from VideoGamesChronicle.com, and it's titled, Microsoft is asking Xbox owners if they would like PS5 DualSense features on Series X/S controllers. So Microsoft is using a customer experience survey to ask Xbox Series X and S owners if they would like to see any PlayStation controller features made available for its console. It states, I am aware of features on PlayStation's controller that I wish were on the controller that came with this console, reads one statement in the survey, which respondents are asked to agree or disagree with. The survey also asks specifically which controller features Xbox Series X and S owners would like to see and whether they believe their new console feels next gen. So clearly this is a point of concern for Microsoft, as we all know that the DualSense got a lot of praise. I myself was very impressed with this controller. I know a lot of people in the games industry were impressed. I know fans were impressed. I know people who weren't even, PlayStation gamers who were impressed by the controller. So it's needless to say that this is probably the biggest innovation when it comes to controllers in a very, very long time. Now, with that said, I don't think that I could ever go back to using any other type of controller at the moment. I think it's probably in Microsoft's best interest to implement these features into their controller. And now I know some people might be like, oh, well, this is Microsoft just copying PlayStation. But at the end of the day, if it's going to improve your hardware, it only makes sense to copy if necessary, right? I think it makes the most sense for them to do that. Now, obviously, it depends who you ask. In my opinion, they can only benefit from upgrading their controller with some new features. The haptics is necessary, and I'll tell you right now, the adaptive triggers are really something else. It is an absolute incredible experience if you have used it before. It's hard to explain unless you've used it yourself. And I think that even though some Xbox gamers might say right now that they don't want it, I think if they had it, they would totally change their mind. And the other thing is too, say you don't like it, you can just turn it off. It's not something that you have to have on. So either way, I think it's a win-win situation, and I think Microsoft's going to be surprised, or maybe not surprised, by just how many people probably do want these features in their controller. And of course, Microsoft is able to develop these types of controllers as long as they know their fan base wants it, and I think they should do it because it's a great type of controller to have. It's definitely my favorite controller right now is the DualSense controller. No controller beats that for me personally right now. And I would absolutely love to see more game companies implement these features into their controllers. That's all I have to say about that. On to our next topic, and this is coming from PushSquare.com, and it's titled, Sony wins the most Game of the Year awards for third consecutive year. So guys, this is just saying something, man. Like, we've talked a lot about Sony, right, and their exclusives and their first-party studios and just how incredible they are. I know that some people aren't the biggest fans of every single one of their games, but let's be honest, most of their games review quite well, and they've clearly proven that they've beat out some big titles for Game of the Year. This year, they had The Last of Us 2, controversial title, of course. They had Ghost of Tsushima, another title that is absolutely incredible. You know, the year that God of War came out, it had quite the competition with Red Dead Redemption 2, and it beat out Red Dead Redemption 2, which was really surprising for me personally. It just shows that Sony has studios that are very talented. They have exclusives that are very good, and I just think that going forward, we're going to see more of this. I don't think that we're going to slow down anytime soon, especially with 2021 being a huge year, guys. We got God of War, we have Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo, Returnal. All these first-party games are games that a lot of people are looking forward to, and they are studios that have proven themselves up until now. With Returnal, being on the fence about that, just because they haven't had any like huge AAA titles. And even with Returnal, I don't know if that's considered AAA level, but it looks really good. So I think that, PlayStation in terms of their catalog is very impressive. And I think that at this point, with the way they're dropping games every year, that we're going to continue to see this super competitive, gaudy candidates almost year after year. I would be surprised if there was a year that they didn't have a game that was very competitive in that category. Now, with that said, obviously, video games are subjective. Just because I like something or majority of people like something, it doesn't mean that everybody will. But with that said, it's still exciting to see this as a PlayStation fan, at least, that Sony really is just putting some incredible experiences out there, and there are a lot of people out there that are going to enjoy that, and they deserve the awards if they're doing all the work. Now, on to our last topic, and this comes from PushSquare.com, and it's titled Cyberpunk 2077 Dev Debunks Widespread Rumor of the Game's No Man's Sky style comeback. Now, if you guys remember, we talked about this in a previous video where there was this post over on GameFAQs, and he basically said a lot of stuff was scrapped. Some things were rewritten. They didn't want Keanu Reeves playing Johnny Silverhand. There was all this stuff that was said. Some of it seemed believable. Some of it, anyone could have made up. And they've officially decided to come out and address this. So, according to the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account, this rumor is a load of rubbish, it writes. Normally, we don't comment on rumors, but this time we wanted to make an exception as this story is simply not true. That's that then. So, yeah, I feel like they probably felt this was so ridiculous. There's so much bad news around this game. The last thing we need is somebody spreading this around. It's making news headlines. People are believing it, and it becomes an issue, right? So they're like, hey, we got to come out and we got to address this. We just have to. And do I think that it's true? I think that that what they're saying is true. I could totally believe that somebody could make all this up, right? I mean, obviously, you're free to believe what you want, and it's hard to say because there's no factual evidence behind either of them. But I guess CDPR would probably know best what's going on with their studio and what's happening in their game development phases. But overall, at the end of the day, the game is out, okay? It has its issues. It has its merits. There's a lot going on with the game, and it's easy to pick at it, and I see a lot of people just dogpiling on this game. And at the end of the day, it's a quality game. Unfortunately, performance is bad, and there are glitches and bugs, but what's underneath it all is quite good. So I hope that one day they figure this all out and they release a patch that's going to make this game what it was supposed to be. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I have faith in the devs over at CDPR and that they will make things right eventually. With that said, this is a title that's going to have a lot of drama around it for the foreseeable future. I don't see that ending anytime soon, but I guess time will tell. Now, I'm going to pass this on to you guys. I'm curious what you're going to think of this Microsoft trying to adapt DualSense features into their controller. What do you think of Sony winning so many Game of the Year awards, or the most Game of the Year awards back-to-back in 3 years? And what do you think about the comments made by CDPR in regards to Cyberpunk 2077 rumors? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description. And share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.